Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us for this preview of the Q1 2026 Commercial Properties Quarterly, which will officially release tomorrow via email. I'm Rachel Ammon. I'm Director of Marketing and Communications for King of Prussia District, and I'm moderating our webinar today. And joining us today are Chi Gul, King of Prussia District's Manager of Research and Data Analytics, and Eric Goldstein, President and CEO of King of Prussia District. And we are also happy to welcome our housing experts today. We have Lea Anne Welsh, COO of Korman Communities and President of AV, and Melanie Mickie, Vice President of Sales for Toll Brothers, the PA Delaware Division. To begin, we will provide an overview of King of Prussia District and Upper Merion Township, and then we'll delve into key findings from the commercial report before taking a deeper look at the residential market in Upper Merion Township. And we will close out with your questions, which you're welcome to enter into the chat at any time. We'll be monitoring and taking them at the end. And just a quick note that we are recording this webinar. It will be uploaded to our YouTube channel tomorrow, and a link will be included in tomorrow's Commercial Properties Quarterly email. And now I'd like to turn things over to Eric to get us started.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. King of Prussia District is the type of organization known as a business improvement district. We were created in Upper Merion Township back in 2010 in response to a number of serious issues facing commercial properties at the tail end of the Great Recession, kind of 2007, 2008. We are a private not-for-profit organization that was formed under PA's Neighborhood Improvement District legislation. And our district serves the largest commercial center in Montgomery County, which is the third largest county in the Commonwealth. And we are the third largest employment center in the Philadelphia region, behind only Center City and University City. On your screen is our formal mission and vision statement now. We view ourselves as being a catalyst for economic development and job growth in Upper Merion Township, PA, with one of our primary objectives being to raise property values across the board. And we believe that increased property values drive a positive cycle of tax revenue, investment, and redevelopment. Our work is supported by mandatory assessment fees on 431 commercial, industrial, and multifamily residential properties that fall within our boundary. Those fees support our program activities in marketing and communications and transportation, physical improvements, research and data analytics, and land use and zoning. So one final note from me before I turn things over to Chi here. This quarter and moving forward, King of Prussia District will be reporting commercial data by separating out office and flex properties in Renaissance Park and the Discovery Lab section of the township. So the reason for this is that Renaissance is going through a major transformation from office and flex to information technology, with a number of proposed data centers proposed to replace what were historically office and flex properties. So the Discovery Labs, while currently targeting life sciences uses, may undergo a similar transformation, in the future. So the transformation is artificially driving up vacancy rates in the township, as you will see in Chi's presentation in a few minutes. And over the next 5 to 10 years, it is possible that we could see approximately 650,000 square feet of office and flex space transformed into data centers and other uses in the township. If the vacancies were scattered throughout the township, we would continue to report as we have in the past. But because all of the vacancies are concentrated in Renaissance Park and Discovery Labs, we believe that it is best to report our commercial data going forward with this nuance in mind. So that said, it is now my pleasure to introduce Chi Gu, our Manager of Research and Data Analytics for King of Prussia District. Chi will walk us through the details of our first quarter 2026 commercial property statistics.
Thanks, Eric. Hi, everyone. My name is Xi Guo. As Eric mentioned, I'm the Manager of Research and Data Analytics. Today, I will walk you through an updated overview of Upper Meridian's visitors, employees, and housing market, along with our latest Q1 2026 commercial status across office, flex, industrial, retail, medical, and life science sectors. So to start it, King of Prussia continued to be a major center for the visitor activity. In 2025, Upper Meridian recorded about 41 million visits, with December alone reaching 4 million visits. The overall visitation rose 2.8% year over year. And if we see from the chart, comparing with some surrounding municipality, Upper Meridian consistently seeing the highest monthly visits, highlighting its role as one of the region's primary retail, tourism, and entertainment destination. And next, let's look at the employees in Upper Meridian. So employee trips has been steadily rebound since the pandemic, increasing from around 8 million in 2021 to 12 million in 2024, now even exceeding the pre-pandemic levels. Most employees commute 10 to 24 miles, while 28% live within 10 miles, showing a strong mix of local and regional workers. In terms of the home location, Philadelphia accounts for the largest share at 14%, followed by King of Prussia, Norristown, Phoenixville, and Drexel Hill. Overall, the data highlights the Upper Meridian's strong regional role as an employment center, supporting more than 65,000 jobs. And this quarter, we are spotlighting the Upper Meridian King of Prussia's housing market. So looking at the population and the housing trend chart, we see that Upper Meridian continues to experience some steady growth in both resident population and housing supply. In 2024, Upper Meridian reached a population of 35,000 and had a total of 16,000 households, which marking a 25% increase over the past decade. Since 2016, around 4,000 new housing units has been built, expanding the township housing stock by 28%. So this growth reflects a strong residential demand and supports the township growth as a place both to live and to work. And in terms of the rental market, asking price in Upper Meridian King of Prussia remains strong. So price continue to stay evaluated, reflecting the strong demand and the area's attractiveness to the renters. Across all the unit types, we see that studios command the highest price per square foot, followed by the 1 and 2 bedroom units, while the larger units remain low price per square footage. So this trend is supported by the township accessibility, employment base, and high quality amenities, which you will hear more from our guest speakers today. And turning to the for sale market, we see a strong, consistent upward trend in the home price over time. So the median sales price has been increased from approximately $300,000 in 2014 to nearly $570,000 in 2024, so which is a nearly doubling over the past decade. And the growth has been specifically pronounced in recent years, highlighting the strengths and long-term value of the Upper Meridian King of Prussia housing market. And now I want to turn things over to our commercial sectors. So as Eric mentioned, beginning this quarter, we are presenting the office and flex data with the Renaissance Park and Discovery Lab separated out. So let's get started with the office market. Two great examples are the First Avenue Corporate Center along with the Freedom Business Center. Both are well-known office complex in King of Prussia that offer strong location and amenities. So in real estate, office are classified into Class A, Class B, and Class C. Class A are the top quality office in good location with plenty of amenities. Class B are the solid office with average design, and Class C are older office with limited amenities. So we currently are looking at first the core Upper Merion King of Prussia office market, excluding the Renaissance Park and Discovery Lab. So we see the fundamentals remain stable. Class A vacancy stands at 11.4%, while Class B and Class C are 14.1% and 13.1%. Overall, the leasable office market reports a vacancy rate of 13.5% and 11.3% when we including those owner-occupied properties. In terms of the inventory, the office market is primarily composed of Class A spaces, which represents about 64% of total RBA, followed by Class B at 31% and Class C at only 5%. So this composition highlights the high quality nature of the office inventory in King of Prussia. And overall, these figures reflect a balanced and steady office market across overall township. While now we're looking specifically at Renaissance Park and Discovery Lab. So we can see that the office vacancy rate is significantly higher. So within this segment, Class A vacancy is around like 40% and Class B vacancy is 31%. So the leasable market records a vacancy rate of 37.8%, while overall market is 37.6%. By square footage, the inventory is overwhelming Class A, which represent 80%, and Class B making up the remaining 20%. So this construct shows why we want to separating out the Renaissance Park and Discovery Lab. So it gives a more accurate view of the condition in broader Upper Merion and King of Prussia office market. We also saw a familiar, similar patterns when we looking at the flex property across the core, the first column, across the core Upper Merion and King of Prussia flex market, vacancy is just 7.5%, reflecting a stable condition. In contrast, the Renaissance Park and Discovery Labs report a higher vacancy rate of 17.2%. Driven by some ongoing repositioning and redevelopment projects, as Eric just mentioned. So similar to office, this separation helps clarify the underlying market conditions and performance. So next comes to our industrial properties. Industrial properties focus on warehousing and distribution, and a great example is the King of Prussia Logistic Hub, a facility leased by Target that supports the regional logistics. In this quarter, industrial space total 6.4 million square footage across 140 properties, with a vacancy rate of just 3.5%. Overall, this remains one of the tightest sectors in the market. Next, we look at the retail property. Two great examples are King of Prussia Town Center and the King of Prussia Mall, two of the top destinations in this region. As of Q1, retail totals 6.1 million square footage across 175 properties, with a vacancy rate of just 2.8%. Historically, vacancy has been fluctuated, but always keeps below 5%. This reflects how King of Prussia's mix of shopping, dining, entertainment helps remain one of the most stable sectors. Next is the medical properties. So in commercial real estate, medical properties are designed for healthcare providers and outpatient service. So one example is Trop King of Prussia. This quarter, the medical sector totals approximately 529,000 square footage across 12 properties, with a vacancy rate of just 10.1%. So this indicates a relatively tight and stable market for healthcare-related space. And next is our life science properties. So life science properties provide some specialized space for research labs and biotech companies. Two standout examples are Discovery Labs and GSK's East Campus. So in Q1, the life science sector totals approximately 2.3 million square footage across 18 properties, with a vacancy rate of 23.2%. We see that this increase actually aligns with a broader national trend as some new supply delivered during the pandemics continue to come online, while the leasing activities has been slowed down. So despite this, King of Prussia remains one of the greater Philadelphia's region's leading life science clusters. If you're looking at this chart provided by CBRE's Philadelphia Life Science Figure Report, the King of Prussia Valley Forge submarket still leads the region with 2.8 million square footage of life science spaces, representing almost half of the total suburban inventory. And now I'm excited to welcome our guest speaker, Lea Anne Welsh, COO of the Korman community and president of AVE, who will give us an overview of KOP rental housing market. Lea Anne.
Thank you very much. I've been looking forward to this presentation. So I'm Lea Anne Welsh, Chief Operating Officer of Korman Communities and President of the AVE brand. I've had the honor of being with Korman Communities for almost 34 years, really seeing Korman Communities grow from Korman Suites to Korman Communities and two thriving brands, AVE and AKA. AKA is our urban hospitality-oriented hotels for longer stays. And then AVE is our multifamily product. So Korman Communities was founded in the Philadelphia region. We're a fifth generation, 100-year-old real estate investment and management company with nearly 40 communities properties across the United States and London. AVE is Korman Communities' multifamily brand, and we serve discerning residents seeking an elevated apartment living, accented by sophisticated business, wellness, leisure amenities, and award-winning high-touch service with a strong sense of community. AVE has been ranked the #1 property management company for 4 years in a row based on resident satisfaction. We are a trusted name nationwide for those who want to live better, and live better is our tagline. It's what our promise is to everyone that chooses to call AVE a home. So that's a little bit about our company, and we're thrilled to have roots in King of Prussia. So the King of Prussia housing market at a glance. King of Prussia has grown significantly as a housing market. Total housing units, that includes single family home, multifamily, and condos, have increased 27% from 2010 to 2024. The market is nearly split between owners and renters, with owners comprising of 55.1% of the inventory, and renter occupied units are 44.9%. So a meaningful resident base in King of Prussia are renters, which means that they are choosing to call King of Prussia their home versus making the investment. So that's a renter by choice. The King of Prussia submarket contains nearly 6,700 rental units across 42 communities. But when you isolate the larger communities, and what I mean by a larger community has having 150 apartments or more, 17 properties account for the bulk of the inventory, and the village of Valley Forge is a dominant force within that group. The village of Valley Forge, including Canvas, contains 2,457 apartments, representing 37% of the entire King of Prussia submarket inventory. And what is interesting is the unit breakdown. 7% are studios. The largest driver is one bedrooms at 53%, two bedrooms at 36%, and three bedrooms at 4% of the total inventory. Over the last 10 years, King of Prussia averaged 388 units under construction annually. All of the communities that were delivered in that period, 8 were inside the village and only 2 were outside, which is Park Square and Sky 750. No other single development cluster comes close to this concentration and scale in any other submarket in the Philadelphia region. So we're very proud of the work that we have done to create King of Prussia as a driver of jobs and a place where people can choose to live. And the Village of Valley Forge, when you look at the Village of Valley Forge, the next slide, over the market, it is staggering the premium renters are willing to pay for living within the Village of Valley Forge. Obviously the one bedrooms have the most meaningful premium, 40%. So the average, and this is all of the inventory based on CoStar, the March 25th, 2026 report, that there is a 40% premium to those who choose to live in a one-bedroom apartment throughout the Village of Valley Forge versus the greater King of Prussia submarket. You can see the 2 bedrooms are 29% and the 3 bedrooms are 14% and the studios 32%. So there is a real value. Renters are paying more for walkability, for amenities, for a sense of place, just not square footage and the walls of their apartment. They are choosing to pay more and living that lifestyle. And the next slide is the competitive market. King of Prussia submarket is predominantly B class. 57% are categorized as B class. And B is generally product built within the last 20 years. It's an older community that's mostly recently had some level of renovation. The exterior and interior amenity packages are typically a bit dated and less what is offered by properties in the high end of the market. 28% A class. That's really your cluster in the Village of Valley Forge and the few surrounding the Village of Valley Forge. A class are generally garden product or mid-rise product built within the last 10 years. And with well-merchandised landscaping, attractive amenities, a on-site leasing and management office. That is the definition of an A class. So obviously you look around the Village of Valley Forge, that's A class all day long. And then C class is 15%. They're older communities built 30 years ago, have been renovated, but they're limited just by the time that they were built. Dated exterior amenity package. Typically, they might not even have a rental office. They're a place where people just have lived for years. So that is the breakdown. Why entry? This is actually my favorite slide. I was telling the King of Prussia district team this earlier. Why in 2028? That's when we opened our doors. So this is a story back from 2013. We were working with Real and Homes and Northwestern Mutual we knew we wanted to be in the Village of Valley Forge. We knew that we saw the vision as to what Real and Homes and Northwestern Mutual saw. And we were working on what area that we are going to be in the Village of Valley Forge. And we were talking to, recording and talking to potential capital partners. And there was an existing partnership that we had with a very well-known worldwide financial institution based in their headquarters were in Atlanta, who we were dealing with. And we had our contact fly up. He was the head of investments for this fund. And the president of KCI Investments, Scott Relic, and I spent time with him and took him out to what is now a thriving community, the Village of Valley Forge. And all it was Wegmans parking lot that was filled and a construction fence around the perimeter of the Village of Valley Forge. And what you saw in the distance was the start of a concrete parking structure, which was indigo, and bulldozers and concrete trucks starting with indigo. That was 2013. And we were explaining the vision. And the vision is, we've got the next slide, but we'll stay on this slide, is really what we saw was what was around the country in 3 major markets: the Domain in Austin, City Center in West Palm, and Kierland Commons in Scottsdale, Arizona. For any of you that have been to any of those 3 lifestyle centers, they are truly large open air mini cities. And that was the vision that we saw. And that was really what we were selling. And he turns and looks at us, he goes, his Southern accent, he goes, "I just don't see it. I just don't get it." And I looked at him and I said, "If you build it, they will come." When you look at the demand drivers from Philadelphia to the main line to Montgomery County, Bluebell, Upper Gwinnett, that there is such demand for a destination where people can come and where they can choose to live, where they can shop, and where they can have great dining and entertainment. And that is truly what has come to fruition in King of Prussia. So those are the 3 inspirations, I want to say, for what the village of Valley Forge has become. So when you look at, I can speak to who lives at Ave King of Prussia because we've got the demographic data that we know is accurate. Ave King of Prussia attracts a distinctly high income renter comparable to the broader Philadelphia suburbs. Our median household income is $250,000 a year, 250,000 versus 179 for the suburban properties, for the rest of the suburban Philadelphia. King of Prussia renters have a 4% lower rent to income ratio than suburban Philadelphia. It means they have more disposable income relative to what they're paying in rent. And that is an important factor because they are the residents that want that carefree living. And that's what the Village of Valley Forge and what Ave and the other communities offer. They can go get on a plane and take an extended vacation. They can choose to, a lot of them have some flexibility with their work environment or entrepreneurs and self-employed. So the fact that there's more disposable income is a demand driver as well. The median age of King of Prussia renter is 45 versus similar to suburban Philadelphia, with 27% of the renters over 60. 10% are retired in King of Prussia versus 16% in suburban Philadelphia. King of Prussia renters are skewed toward active working professionals, which is what we see. The demand drivers. This is truly across whether you're for sale, whether you're renting. The demand drivers for King of Prussia or choosing to open a business in King of Prussia: jobs. Relocation is the number one reason why people are moving to King of Prussia, according to our demographic data, at 36%. That's 13% higher than the rest of our suburban properties. So the reason why people are moving into Ave King of Prussia is that they are relocating into the area. And top employers that are anchoring this demand are Vanguard, Merck, Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed. They are all bringing people in, and people are choosing to want to live closer to where they work. King of Prussia isn't a bedroom, just a sleepy bedroom community. It's a job center, and renters follow jobs. Self-employed are a big demand driver for the people that live at King of Prussia. So it really is about jobs and the flexibility that people can choose to live where they want because they are self-employed as well. So hybrid work lifestyle choice. I love it when I walk into Ave King of Prussia and I see people working in all of the nooks and all of our conference rooms being filled. It truly reinforces the picture. The data shows amenities and location accounts for 7% of the move-ins for Ave King of Prussia. That category doesn't even appear in the rest of our Philadelphia portfolio. They really like the location and the amenities of King of Prussia. This signals a renter who's choosing King of Prussia for what it is, not just where it's relative to work, because they like everything that King of Prussia has to offer besides just being convenient for their professional life. Hybrid work has expanded the radius of where people will live, and King of Prussia's lifestyle offering makes a compelling choice for those who do not work locally every single day. Job relocations, life change, closer to work, and amenities are all drivers. And then life in transition. We see 9% of our renters life in transition, whether they're divorcing, downsizing, or relocation. People want flexibility, ease, and quality. So life in transition is a big demand driver across the King of Prussia district. And then accessibility and location. You've got proximity to the airport, major highways, Amtrak for the Northeast corridor, and just the employers. So accessibility, shopping, amenities, restaurants, one of the largest malls in the country, medical. So they're all demand drivers. And at the end, King of Prussia is a market that performs overall. Listening to the stats of all of the commercial and residential, I mean, there's people want to live here. It continues to evolve. New restaurants are opening, new people are moving in, and people are staying. It's a sticky market, and there's just so much that King of Prussia has to offer.
Thank you so much, Leanne. That was wonderful. And if you have any questions for Leanne, please enter them into the chat and we will get to them at the close of the presentation. Now I would like to introduce Melanie Mickie, Vice President of Sales for Toll Brothers, the PA Delaware Division. Take it away, Melanie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Melanie Mickie, yes, and Vice President of the Pennsylvania Delaware Division for Toll Brothers, and I'm very excited and honored to have the opportunity to share more information about our success in the King of Prussia district and the village at Valley Forge. As we have heard throughout this entire presentation, one of the key drivers in real estate is location, 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 right? Toll Brothers figured it out early. That's the beauty of this. Toll Brothers really figured it out early, and we're very proud to be a part of the redevelopment of the village at Valley Forge and the King of Prussia Town Center. You know, just 15 years ago, the area, as we know, was pretty much office space, right? It was all office space, and now it's situated in an urban setting, and it's an urban setting in the suburbs, which is just phenomenal in terms of the growth that we've experienced over the years. This photo that you see here, we like to call this our money shot. This is a picture of one of our condo buildings, 575 South, located at the town center. So Toll Brothers was founded over almost 60 years ago, and in the greater Philadelphia area, right here, this is home. And we've expanded so much that we are now we're selling homes in over 60 markets across the country. Uh, what's amazing about what we have to offer is that Toll Brothers has the widest array of luxury product offerings in the industry. So meaning we were able to offer homes to your first time home buyers, to your move up buyers who have that growing family, to your active adults, and then for those who may be interested in purchasing a second home. We provide we have a luxury product for all of those segments. What's really phenomenal, though, is that we've been able to leverage our strong brand as America's luxury home builder and Fortune magazine's most admired builder. And we have received this accolade year over year over year. At this point in time, in terms of the market, people really truly value new homes more than ever. And particularly here in the greater Philadelphia area, where inventory continues to be low. And the resale market has really helped to drive more people to new home construction. There's four key pillars that Toll Brothers truly stands upon that makes us unique compared to the other builders in the market and throughout the industry. And we call that the Toll Brothers advantage. And what that basically represents are four key things here. The first is prestigious locations. As I've shared before, location, location, location is the key to real estate success. And for Toll Brothers, it starts with buying the best land in the best locations. And the magic of KOP is the location, as we've shared throughout the call today. Our second advantage is the distinctive architecture. Toll Brothers offers expansive floor plans with features that our customers can use to desire that our customers desire to have in their homes to help personalize their homes, whether it be the interior selections or the architectural elements of the home. But we offer distinctive architecture to fit their lifestyle, whether it's a home office or fitness rooms or multi-generational living. We have that to offer, and we've been able to provide these products throughout the King of Prussia area. The third pillar the third key advantage that Toll Brothers has is our unrivaled choice. And, now more than ever, people want the opportunity to have their choice, right? We offer tremendous opportunities for our customers to personalize their homes, whether they're building their home from the ground up, or we may have already selected architectural elements for the home, and our customers have the opportunity to visit our state-of-the-art design studio to make their design selections. And then we also offer quick move-in homes where our professional design teams have designed specific collections specific collections for those homes that are available for immediate delivery. So it gives our customers confidence that they're living in a professionally designed home that they did not have to worry about making any of the selections for, and they're on trend. But the fourth Toll Brothers advantage is extraordinary customer experience. We really strive to ensure that we're providing not only an extraordinary but an elevated customer experience for our customers from the time that they visit our website, not even just from the time that they walk through the door, but from the time that they visit our website to the time that they close on their new Toll Brothers home. So those are the four of the key things that really helps Toll Brothers stand apart from the rest. So in terms of King of Prussia, I mean, the beauty of it is the work, live, and play, like Lea Anne mentioned earlier, right? It's a hub for regional connectivity, access to employment, and has an abundance of recreation and world class retail. Toll Brothers really did see the vision and the growth in the area, and more importantly, believed in it. We started our very first development was the brownstones at Village at Valley Forge, which was a 2-over-2 townhome with a rooftop deck. Then our next development was the condos at 575 South, which was basically an opportunity for people who might want to have a condo who might not necessarily want to live in the city. And the condos at 575 South offered that opportunity. It also offered opportunity for low maintenance living and access, obviously, to the town center. Our next development was Overlook at Town Center, which was the evolution of the brownstones at Village at Valley Ford. Again, a 2-over-2 townhome community with rooftop decks that overlook Valley Forge, which is an amazing view if you haven't had a chance to see that yet. But that success at Overlook at Town Center gave us more leverage to expand, and we opened a community called Stonebrook at Upper Marion, where we built we're currently building. We're in the process of closing out of this community at this point in time, but we've built 182 attached townhomes, which offered even though it was an attached product, it offered a different lifestyle, more almost a more suburban feel rather than the town center city feel. And so we had that to offer for customers. And then we also opened our Stonebrook Heritage Community, which is where we sold luxury single family homes. And so we were able to basically provide products to accommodate an array of lifestyles for those interested in living in the King of Prussia area. And we mentioned it earlier in the call that the King of Prussia area, or the King of Prussia district, is very reliable, right? We even in a challenging market, what we found is that King of Prussia, because of the location, because of its central location, and the access to shops and restaurants and recreation, we've been able to continue to increase price, increase our sales pace. We've been able to, we've been able to be successful in this location because of its reliability. In the last 5 years or so, we expanded aggressively across the country, quite frankly, to meet the millennial buyer needs, to complement both our luxury and active adult segments. And what we found is that millennials, like Lea Anne shared earlier, right? Millennials are buying homes later in life because they have more access to funds. They're wealthier, quite frankly, and they have the means to purchase a luxury home. King of Prussia is ideal not only for the millennial buyers who might be purchasing their first home, but it's also ideal for homeowners who want to downsize. That we found in those who want to relocate from the city, but then also, as mentioned earlier, that it's ideal for those who are relocating. I actually am one of those. I'm one of those statistics, Lea Anne. Um, I've been with Toll Brothers now for 4 years. Was recruited from the Atlanta market, and when we moved, when we were in the process of moving and relocating, I was trying to figure out, oh my gosh, where am I going to live? What's going to happen here? And I'm looking at the map, and I see right there, King of Prussia. Now, I've visited the Philadelphia area several times. I mean, years ago. And at that time, I saw all the lot office spaces, and I'm like, wait a second, is King of Prussia still like those office spaces? No, not at all. Right? It had grown, it had expanded, and it was the perfect fit for my family because it was convenient to work, it was convenient to school. It was convenient to all of the amenities that the area has to offer, shopping and retail as well. So it worked out great for us. And so yes, I'm a statistic. As far as and you can go on to the next slide. So, King of Prussia, for Toll Brothers, it's really at the center of the Pennsylvania Delaware division, and the quite frankly, it's the backyard where the company was founded, i.e., the picture that you see here, the backyard. But we've always had a strong position in this area, and Toll Brothers has consistently been a leader in the market, and which has helped us really gain more success and maintain a strong position, particularly when it comes to opening new communities. We look forward to expanding our footprint in King of Prussia and the surrounding areas such as Conshohocken, Valley Forge, as well as Collegeville. And quite frankly, for those who are currently living in King of Prussia, whose lives might be changing and require them to consider a new home, Toll Brothers has communities all throughout the greater Philadelphia area to fit their lifestyle, whether it be a townhome community, a luxury single family community, or even an active adult community with some pretty amazing amenities. But as I shared earlier, one of the key features in real estate is location, location, location. And King of Prussia has been the place to be for Toll Brothers and our homeowners. And we look forward to an even greater success as we move into the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melanie. And we're so glad that you ended up here in King of Prussia from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Lea Anne. And now we're going to dive into a couple of questions from our audience. So the first one actually is for you, Lea Anne. Some people may assume that the construction of the new apartment units in the village will drive up the vacancy rate of the older apartments. And I'm curious to know what you think about that.
Yeah, the stats do not prove that at all. The entire village is operating at a high occupancy as well as the entire submarket. And it comes back to what I said earlier, if you build it, they will come. Because of the vibrancy of of Philadelphia, of the King of Prussia business community, and the fact that it's a desirable location, more people have moved in to King of Prussia from outside of the area, like Melanie, and the surrounding area. So it did not impact in any unfavorable way any of the existing legacy communities in King of Prussia. We actually just expanded the pie.
Okay. Thank you for that.
And also
Sticking.
too, this is actually really important. I'm so sorry, Rachel.
No.
The fact that now we cast such a wide net. If you look at the pie chart of the class of communities, the highest number is still those C communities, which are more workforce housing. So in King of Prussia, we cast a wide net from luxury, discerning residents to everyday people. So we really cast a wide net. So we should be very proud of that as a community.
Mhm.
Thank you. Sticking in the village, but a question more for Melanie. It's
Mhm.
not very common to see for sale condos being built in suburban areas. And can you share a little bit more about why Toll decided to build 575 at the village?
Yes, quite frankly, like I shared earlier, they saw the vision, right? They understood this is an opportunity to capture those who want city living and offer the opportunity for them to be in the suburbs. The other piece is that it offers low maintenance living, right? And the opportunity for home ownership. And so as we moved forward, we were able to evolve the product. But that, quite frankly, that's why we considered condos.
Okay. Um, Leanne, I have a question for you here. It's quite a question.
Okay.
How do you see how do you see the rental market evolving over the long term?
you know, Obviously each market is different, but when you look at Philadelphia and the suburbs and King of Prussia, I think the trends that we're seeing, that the market casts a wide net, that people with where interest rates are, with home ownership, with people understanding that the American dream, to some people, the American dream is buying a home and living in that home forever. There's a lot of people that have a different perception about what they want, and they want more flexibility. Even if you're signing a year lease for an apartment, that's still
Mhm.
flexible, because in 10 months you can give your notice to vacate and you can move on. You can move to another area. You can upsize, downsize, you can choose to buy a home. So the trends, I feel they're going to continue, that you're going to have a cast a wide net. There's going to be a lot of continued renters by choice, people who are empty nesters and just want that flexibility. They want to be able to travel. They don't want to worry about shingles falling off their roof. They don't want to worry about plumbing issues. They just want to be able to live and know that things are taken care of for them. And that's the beauty of where the multifamily industry is today. You've got luxury buildings that are limited services, they're just new and have a lot of amenities. And then you've got luxury buildings that have high touch services and concierge services. You've got B product, some older construction that doesn't have a leasing office or someone to talk to. You're calling a number, but you also have those that actually have an on-site team and do offer amenities. And then you've got the workforce housing and the C communities for people that literally just need a place to live. They might work extended hours, work overnight at a hospital. They don't, they just need a place to live and they want to actually save more money. So, and also to the amenities. The amenities are really a differentiator in the King of Prussia market. Flexibility with amenities, whether it, used to be big movie theaters. We still have those, but now having individual work pods for people to be able to work from home. We started adding podcast studios because more people are doing podcasts and need private space that is soundproof. So really, flexibility in what builders, developers are building with their amenity space is a trend that will continue.
Thank you. I have a question that came in from the chat. I think it's probably best for Eric. So if you could unmute yourself there, and I'll read this aloud for everyone. Does Upper Merion have any plans to further commercially develop West Church Road, where the Middleton plant and the Ward Landscaping Company are? Eric, that sounds like one for you.
Sure. So we are not aware of any development plans in that area. Um, but I definitely think that's a question that should be directed directly to the township, either the planning office, maybe Jarrett Lash, the township planner, or maybe the township manager's office to inquire. But we're not aware of anything. I did want to add one thing, if I could, too, about the sort of demand drivers that we talk about here, and is something that I used to say quite often, but find myself not talking about very much anymore, is that prior to 2010, there was about a 20-year period in Upper Marion Township where we didn't add any residential housing units. But in that time, the employment population grew from 43,000 to 63,000. So basically, what we did was we created an awful lot of traffic and congestion because we added 20,000 new jobs, but didn't give any of those 20,000 employees a place to live. So I think what we're seeing now, and what Lea Anne was, she answered the question before about why older apartments aren't seeing higher vacancy rates while these new apartments are going up. It's because there's an incredible amount of built up and pent up demand for housing in Upper Marion Township because we went those 2 decades without providing any new units during a period of pretty explosive employment growth. And since then, employment has grown even more, but fortunately, housing is starting to catch up. But there's still a lot more demand out there, I think, and room for more within Upper Marion.
I would agree with you, Eric. We had great success with our single family community because there were no other new home community or single family home communities in the area. And so the demand is there's still pent up demand for the area. And again, the key is the amazing location. So we're on track.
All right, and I think we have time for one last question. And Melanie, it will be for you. What shifts are you seeing in buyer behavior right now, and how is that shaping Toll Brothers' sales strategy?
Oh wow. What
Yeah.
shifts are we seeing? You know what? This market shifts every week, quite frankly, right? Um, as I shared with you earlier, huge shift in the millennial buyers entering the market, right? And having the funds available to purchase. We're seeing what we call the baby chasers. Those are your active adults who want to who who originally had a home here in the greater Philadelphia area, relocated to Florida per se, and now their children are having grandchildren or having their children. So they've got these grandchildren on the way, and they want to be closer to their families. So we're seeing an influx of those those active adults moving back to the area, chasing their grandchildren, right? And so what they'll do, Lea Anne, is they'll rent at the Ave while their home is being built, and then take their time moving into their new home. So they've got that flexibility there. We are also seeing a major shift in multi-generational living where the grandparents are moving in with with one of the children in their families, and the grandparents are helping their children with the down payment. So there's so many fascinating things that are happening in the market right now, but we're in a wonderful place here in the greater Philadelphia area to be and to in terms of taking advantage of this opportunity.
All right. Welcome back, baby chasers. We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both, Melanie and Lea Anne. We're going to toss it back to Chi, who has a few quick research and data updates before we sign off today.
Thank you, Rachel. So just want to quickly mention here, if you are interested in exploring the data on King of Prussia, please visit our data dashboard where we provide insights across a wide range of topics. Also, if there's additional information you can not find in our data dashboard, feel free to just reach out to me by my email, which is qi@kopbid.com. I'm always happy to help. And this year, we plan to publish 3 comprehensive commercial studies, each focused on a specific sector, including retail, office, and life science. So the retail report was released on April 1st. Overall, King of Prussia retail strength is driven by the regional scale and strong visitations, which continue to support the low vacancy rate and tenant demand. At the same time, the market is evolving towards more experiential driven and destination retail. So you can explore more insights from the report on our website. And finally, the King of Prussia district is the spring survey is now alive through April 30th. Please take 6 to 8 minutes survey and encourage your friends, family, and colleagues to do the same. The survey can be completed anonymously, or an email address can be shared for a chance to win one of the three $250 prize pack for the restaurant gift cards.
All right. Thank you everyone for attending our webinar today. A reminder that the recording of the webinar will be uploaded to our YouTube later today and then shared in tomorrow's commercial property quarterly email. And please make sure you subscribe to our email for even more insights moving forward. Thanks again, Melanie and Lea and Chi and Eric, and have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.